Hey Frag fam, what is going on? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Elliot here. Welcome back to The Fragrance Well. For today's video topic, we're going to focus on special occasion fragrances. These are fragrances that you would typically not on a regular basis wear every day, but you would more likely pull them out for a special occasion, such as a wedding. That's probably the most obvious one. Maybe a work banquet, maybe some kind of awards banquet, maybe a special dinner, maybe a company event, if you will. These are all things that kind of fall under that special occasion category. Now, I did say typically you wouldn't wear them every day and more likely to wear them for these events. In my opinion, I don't think there's a such thing as I only use that fragrance for a special event. Me personally, every last fragrance I got in this video, I have worn outside of a special occasion, but these do fall higher on the list as things I would consider in most cases for a special occasion, if you will. That's how I approach it. I personally don't believe in the idea that, well, I can never wear that unless it's a special occasion. That's just not something I would do. If I were gonna do that, I would just get like a 10 milliliter sample of it. But that's just me. You are free to do what you want to do with your fragrances. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. We got 10 fragrances for today for special occasions. If you would, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you do like the content, and please remember to hit that bell icon and enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, guys, to kick it off, we're gonna go with Arabian Oud's Blue Oud. Arabian Oud, Blue Oud. So this fragrance here, I like to call it a symphony of oud because it's just giving you kind of an overview, if you will, of some of the many qualities you can get from real oud in a fragrance. And this is also just pound for pound one of the best buys in terms of getting just real oud facets in a fragrance and pretty much nothing else. Ouds featured in this are Cambodian oud, Indian oud, and there's a musk accord in here, I guess, to kind of tie them together, maybe even just kind of soften the blow of the ouds in the fragrance. Unfortunately, there's not really anything I can compare this to. It's kind of one of those things you just got to get your nose on, but the oudy qualities in this, if you spray it on right away, I mean, there can be some animalic touches. If you spray it heavily, I think that's when they really ramp up, but that kind of settles after like 5 minutes. Then you've got like bright characteristics of oud. You've got the woody facets. You've got like green facets to it, a little bit of sweetness as well. Kind of got this rich resinous kind of feel. And again, I mean, I'm describing it the best I can, but it is one of those things you kind of just have to get your nose on, unfortunately, because unless you're just familiar with oud in general and you grew up with it or something like that, you just wouldn't really be able to compare this to anything. But trust me, the stuff smells amazing. Perfect for pretty much any special occasion as far as I'm concerned. I've worn it to weddings. My dad's actually worn it when he's been with me, and he said, I like the way that smells, I'll wear it. So he's worn it to weddings. I've smelled it off of him, and I gotta tell you, it smells great on me. It smells great off of him, so I imagine it just smells great in general. Powerful stuff though, you know, you don't need a lot of it, but in terms of special occasion, if you want to smell maybe a little bit more exotic, a little bit more I guess different from the majority of people you would be smelling at such an occasion, particularly here in the States, by the way. This one here will give you that, trust me. Once again, from Arabian Oud, this is Blue Oud. All right, guys, next one's gonna be coming from Parfum de Empire. This is Ambre Russe. Parfum de Empire, Ambre Russe. So this is gonna give you the style of amber that is very synonymous with Ambre Peuchot, which as far as I know is kind of credited as being one of the first amber fragrances, if you will, or at least setting the tone for a style of amber that, you know, spawned the many ambers we love today. This one, more of a powdery, ambery touch overall, not ridiculously sweet. This fragrance in general features notes like tea, has some cumin-like spice to it, has some other woody characteristics, has some slight resinous characteristics as well. Smells very elegant, if you will, next level, if you will. It's very unique compared to what most people would be wearing at any event, really. In terms of these special occasions, I might wear this too. I would say this is probably more of a work dinner kind of thing. I wouldn't really put this at banquet level, if you will. I don't think it quite has that kind of a punch. If I'm going to a banquet, you know, especially at like a black tie one, I'm going all in. This one doesn't quite do that, but it does fit into the special occasion realm in terms of smelling relatively unique and of high quality. So yeah, good maybe work event dinner, something like that, a more elegant dinner, maybe a more casual like banquet where, you know, it's not full on black tie, something like that. That's where I would kind of place this one in the special occasion category. Once again, from Parfum to Empire, this is Ambre Russe. All right, guys, next one's going to be coming from Amouage. This is Boundless. Amouage Boundless. So I like to think of this fragrance primarily as a vanilla scent, but featuring some other qualities, if you will. This one has this kind of effervescent, spicy profile. I think there's some ginger featured in this, a little bit of cardamom, kind of has a dark citrus feel. I think blood orange is one of the featured notes in the fragrance. Has this collection of really high quality vanillic notes that doesn't smell like food, doesn't smell overly sweet, kind of has a little bit more of a natural earthy vanillic smell. And then at the base of this scent is kind of this combination of incensey notes, resinous notes, woody notes, if you will, may even be a little bit of tobacco or something of that nature. It's slightly smoky overall, very elegant scent that, you know, is not like a hype beast from the House of Amouage, but still really great stuff. I kind of place this one in terms of special occasions at the same level as Ambre Russe. Really nice dinner, but maybe not all the way full-blown black tie kind of thing. Could be a nice like special occasion family dinner where everybody's dressed up and it's a really nice restaurant, good company outing or something like that. That's kind of where I place this fragrance. So once again, from Amouage, this is Boundless. All right, next one's going to be coming from Dior, and this is Dior Homme Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum, this is the old style, not the 2025. I have to point that out from now on. Just side note, Dior Homme Intense, I would use it the same way in terms of this category. So the Dior Homme Parfum DNA, outside of the original, I like the Intense and or the Parfum for this category. I think always works. Frankly, Dior Homme Intense is kind of my most worn special occasion fragrance, particularly for weddings or wedding receptions, if you will. Now, usually I'm not necessarily attending the wedding or in the wedding. Usually I'm actually playing in the wedding as a third party, but I'm still at a special occasion, so I treat it the same way. When I say playing, I mean playing drums, so I'm the band that's been hired, but that's neither here nor there. I think this DNA just simply is perfect for that kind of stuff. I already mentioned that I do wear it outside of that, but it really falls in line with the wedding atmosphere. That's typically where I choose to wear the Dior Homme Intense or Parfum fragrance DNA for special occasions. This one, iris fragrance, very rich makeup, powdery, sweet iris with a good amount of leather, some woodiness to it as well, a little bit of even oudi facets, and I think this stuff is just top notch. I mean, fans of the fragrance know, you know what I'm talking about. If you want to go with the Intense, not really as heavy on the leather, a little bit more patchouli in that one, and some musky like characteristics. I think Ambrette, very heavily used in the Intense version, but that's neither here nor there. This version of iris I think works great for those types of occasions. So once again, from Dior, this is Dior Homme Parfum. All right, next one's going to be coming from Frederic Malle. This is Portrait of a Lady. Frederic Malle, Portrait of a Lady. This is actually my most recently worn special occasion fragrance. I went to my cousin's wedding not too long ago, and this was my scent of choice. This is a rose fragrance primarily. I find it to be a little bit green and stemmy, also a touch jammy as well. Very, very spicy off the top, kind of a clove-like spice, so a really heavy, almost savory-like spice. And also, it's quite tart. I think black currant is like adding to the tartness of it. It's also quite dry. Loads of cedarwood in this, and rounded out with a good amount of patchouli, primarily in my opinion, a spicy rose patchouli fragrance. Not gonna be for everyone, but I think this fragrance definitely can work great for that special occasion event, if you will. I think this fragrance pairs really well with a suit. I was wearing a suit, obviously, for the wedding I went to recently, and I was just kind of thinking about how I looked and how the fragrance matched the vibe, and I gotta say, it was perfect. So if any special occasion, in my opinion, where you're at least wearing a suit or more, I think this fragrance can match with that. And this stuff just simply smells amazing as it is. Fans of this fragrance, you know what I'm talking about. But check it out first. It's not going to be for everyone. So once again, from Frederick Malle, this is Portrait of a Lady. All right, guys, next one's going to be coming from Mason Francis Kirkjohn, and this is Oud Satin Mood Extrait. Mason Francis Kirkjohn, Oud Satin Mood Extrait de Parfum. The EDP will work just as fine. I will say this much though, before, actually, let me just go over what the scent is first. Saffron Rose Oud fragrance. Pretty heavy amount of saffron in this. Rose, very, very jammy, very, very decadent and rich, kind of fruity and sweet almost. Loads of vanilla in this. There is oud-like facets in here, but I almost think the oud takes a slight backseat to the rose, if you will. And that's, kind of the overall makeup of the scent. It's a very popular fragrance DNA. It's a very successful fragrance DNA. And you can certainly use it outside of the special occasion genre, but it does work great for that genre. So what I was gonna say is, I don't think you will necessarily be overly unique with this scent DNA. I've been to a couple of special occasion events and I've smelled this on men. I've smelled it on women. I've smelled it before is my ultimate point. That being said, I will just say that this fragrance just simply does work for those occasions. Even though I recognize it and I'm kind of like, oh, okay, they're wearing Oud Satin Mood. They still don't smell like the majority of people there. And I've never smelled it on multiple people. And also the fragrance just works for those kind of occasions. It smells great. So let's just say you maybe want to play it a little bit more safe with your scent choice. Relatively speaking, this one still works wonders for those type of occasions, and also any special occasion this one could be used. So once again, from Mason Francis Kirkjohn, this is Oud Satin Mood Extrait. Okay, next one's going to be coming from Whittian. This is Liwa. Whittian Liwa. So this one here is going to be a spicy, woody fragrance with a floral heart to it. A good amount of a saffron-like spice in this. Kind of a dry, elegant, exotic, woody smell. Oud, probably some cedar and sandalwood. Probably some musky elements as well. Maybe just a dash of sweetness in there. Kind of a collection of florals. I think jasmine might be one of them. There may be some geranium. Might even be some rose-like qualities to it as well. Does kind of smell similar to Parfum de Marly Halton and a little bit like Initio Oud for Greatness overall. So that's kind of the style of the fragrance, but this one does stand on its own from those. Smells top-notch, quality is there. You will definitely stand out, in my opinion, with this scent choice. Also, in terms of the special occasions, this one can be used for anything as well. I don't really put this one in a box. This one can go from the casual special occasion all the way up to the black tie. It could work. So once again, from Whittian, this one is Liwa. All right, let's move on. Next one's coming from Ramon Monegal. This is Next to Me. Ramon Monegal, Next to Me. All right, so this one here, primarily a Middle Eastern style fragrance. It does feature some fruity coconut-like vibe, so it kind of has a little bit of this tropical feel to it, but it is blending with this collection of dry, incensey, slightly smoky, woody notes, if you will. And I gotta say, it smells excellent. I do get a little bit of like some maybe creamy jasmine in here as well. Fruity vibe. To me, it smells kind of peachy. The listed note is plum, but to me, it smells more like peach. That's just how it comes across to my nose. And again, has that coconut. So kind of a mix between dry incensey notes and kind of tropical fruitiness, if you will. Great smelling stuff. Definitely gonna stand out with this scent choice, in my opinion. In terms of special occasions, I would say this one kind of works well for anything except like the top tier stuff. I wouldn't really go for this for a black tie. As good as it is, I think there's just better stuff I would personally go for something like a black tie. But everything else in terms of the special occasions, I think this could work. You know what? Actually, I take that back. I wouldn't really wear this at a wedding either. I don't know. It doesn't really give me wedding vibes. But so banquets that are not black tie, special occasion dinners, work outing dinners, I wouldn't mind wearing it for that. But I don't know. It doesn't give me wedding vibes. That's just my personal opinion though. So once again, from Ramon Monegal, this is Next to Me. All right, next one is coming from Roja Parfums, and this is Creation E. Roja Parfums, Creation E. This is the Parfum pour Homme. I guess the Parfum Cologne probably could work well also. So this one here Has a cola effervescence to it. That's kind of what it's famously known for. But it's a collection of spices and woods and tobacco notes that kind of, and boozy notes that kind of smells like Coke and rum with tobacco. That's what the fragrance smells like, in my opinion. I don't really care about the everlasting list of notes that is typically given with Roja fragrances. That is what it smells like to my nose. In terms of special occasions, I think this one actually could work for anything. You could pull this off in any event, all the way from the sub-casual special occasion dinner up to the black tie event and everything in between. I've worn this to a few special occasions, if you will. I feel like it always kind of works. It has that intrigue to it. It has that level of quality to it. It may not be the biggest head-turning thing in terms of exotic nature, if you will, but it does smell outstanding in my opinion, even though it has a relatively simple explanation to how I think the fragrance smells. It does come across like more than that, if that makes sense. So once again, from Roja Parfums, this is Creation E. All right, and last but certainly not least, coming from Xerjoff, this is going to be Alexandria II. Xerjoff, Alexandria II. All right, so with Alexandria II, has that awesome apple, cinnamon, lavender vibe in the opening that I just love. That combination that is put together here, I think is just perfect. And then once you get past all of that, you got this collection of exotic woods. There's some oudi facets in here. I think there's some cedar wood as well. There's a really nice soft amber accord in this. A little bit of some sweet notes. And overall, I just think this fragrance smells excellent. Personally, I would use this for just about any special occasion. This may not be the best choice always for every special occasion, but it is typically one of the first ones I consider, just simply be out of love of the fragrance. I love the way this stuff smells. I love the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel happy when I smell this fragrance on my skin. I love the transitions that it goes through. And also I think it's just elegant enough for most special occasions, so I don't mind putting it in that category. So once again, from Xerjoff, this is Alexandria II. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you have some fragrances that you like to consider for special occasions. Let me know what some of them are, and if you're familiar with these fragrances, do you also consider them to be good special occasion options? I would love to see what you guys have to say. Thanks again for watching all the way until the end. I really do appreciate you all. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you all in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.